on hot stove. That's right. MLB hot stove is where it was at. Let's start things off. First pitch. And first pitch, base knock, get on base. Hollis, Connor Hollis on board, the shortstop, getting things started for Charros.
Don't expect Hollis to stay there very long. First pitch of the game by Espino, a fastball right down the middle, and Hollis, he was not waiting around. He smoked it right back through the center of the diamond. This is exactly what you want to do with a fastball that's away. You don't want to try to pull it. You want to stay with it, make sure the bat stays in the strike zone a long time so you can do exactly what you want to do, and that's a thing of beauty by Hollis. Great swing.
31 years of age, from Arlington, Texas. Played at Campeche in the Mexican League. Now coming up is Julian Ornelas.
He's not your typical number 2 hitter. He won't be up there bunting. That much we do know. I can promise you that.
Made in Tijuana. Shout out Fuerza Tijuana. The first pitch. And he swings and misses. He was trying to send that one to the center of Guadalajara.
Many people that I've talked to the last number of days say that he is the best player in Mexico, that plays in the winter and plays in the summer. He's the guy. He is the man.
He's also the devil, Diablo Rojos de Mexico.
And all they do is win championships.
That's pretty much it. And looking over at Hollis, just keeping him honest. Now, when it comes to Paulo Espino, he's played parts of 6 seasons in Major League Baseball with the Brewers, Rangers, Nationals, and Blue Jays, spending 4 of those 6 pitching for the Nationals from 2020 to 2023. Last pitch in Major League Baseball, just missed the ride to the series, was with the Blue Jays in 2024. The 0-1 pitch. Missed a little bit low. So Ornelas is also a guy that he works the count. He's excellent. In fact, when you talk about what he's done in 9 seasons in Mexico, just over 300, his batting average in Winter League as well as the Mexican League itself.
He's legit now.
The pitch, little high, 2-1. His brother Tirso plays for the Padres, the San Diego Padres, and Jalisco as well, teammate here with Charros.
Hollis has some speed over at first base, but through the first 3 pitches, he is still there. And the reason for that, Espino taking very little time getting the ball to his catcher, Bethencourt.
Good eye there to work to a 3-1 count for this guy who he followed up a great .339 batting average in 82 games in the Mexican League during the 2025 campaign, and then piling up another 300 batting average, .317 in 68 games with Jalisco in the Pacific League.
Ornelas has himself in a real nice, friendly fastball count.
Swings a little bit late there, trying. He knows he might have just missed one.
But I'll tell you what happened there. He's such a great hitter. We talked about he's the premier guy in Mexico. In a 3-1 count, very seldom does he get fastballs. But he got a fastball there, and he was late because he wasn't quite ready for it, because in the back of his mind, he thought he was going to get something that was spinning. Or else he would not have been late on that 88-mile-per-hour fastball. Hollis should be on the move.
Yep, the 3-2 pitch. Hollis opening up. Siéntate. First strikeout of the game. And Ornelas goes down swinging.
That's a great pitch. I mean, he went on the 3-1 pitch fastball. He was late. And then he came back upstairs with another fastball, and he was late on that as well. Very nice job of pitching here by Espino.
And again, late on that 86, 87-mile-an-hour fastball.
That's because he wasn't looking for it. He's looking for something spinning, because that's what he gets the majority of the time.
So now Michael Wilansky comes up to the plate.
He had a great day yesterday. Michael Wilansky had 3 hits. You know, I was watching the game last night, and you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of the kid in Oakland who just signed a 7-year contract, Jacob Wilson. Take a look at his mannerisms in the batter's box. I mean, if you put a side-by-side of Jacob Wilson next to this kid right here, it's similar. I mean, the hands are out in front. They're wiggling all over the place. This is not the kind of swing you would teach at home, but yet it works for Wilansky. He hits over 300 every year.
And he takes it here. It's 2-0. Still a man on first, and Connor Hollis started things off with the base knock. The Astros selected Michael Wilansky in the 18th round in the 2018 MLB draft, and making it to AAA for 6 games in 2021 before being released afterward.
He's what you call a hit collector.
And I'm a jersey collector, and I'm loving this Mexico jersey.
You like that?
I like it a lot.
Well, you got to talk to your buddy Benji Gill to get you one of those.
I might have to. 3-0. The top of the first here, getting started. Serie del Caribe earlier today. Dominican Republic once again handling business, showing you why they are looking like a threat going back-to-back for Dominican Republic, but also as the same club. The pitch. Oh, a little bit late calling it, but it's a strike 3-1.
Benji Gill didn't appreciate it.
And neither did the umpires in the stands. You could hear the whistles. Oof.
Maybe a hair outside. He wasn't going to swing at it anyway. 3-0 count. He likes to hit the ball the opposite way. It's a huge hole between first and second. That's where he likes to hit the ball.
Closing Hollis out a little bit just in case he was leaning. Again, Benji loves to run. We saw it last night. They were very aggressive. In fact, that aggressiveness on that tag that they just, Dominican Republic, it was just a beautiful throw to home. If not, maybe a different story for Mexico last night. 3-1. Runner did go, fouled it back. So now it's 3-2.
Now here's the situation right here where you've got one out and you've got the runner on first base and you have enough trust in Walensky, the batter, to put the ball in play. You can trust that he's not going to strike out. Therefore, you can put your runner in motion. He didn't do that with Ornelas, the number 2 hitter, because he struck out. That would have been a strike him out, throw him out, but I'm sure that he has a lot of trust here.
The 3-2 pitch to the former Federal of Chiriquí. Played with them in 2023. Michael Walensky, the pitch. Just missed. The throw to second. It doesn't matter because it was ball 4, so we're all good. Doing the exercise.
See, that's why Benji Gill had a lot of trust in Walensky, because he's got a great eye. He's not going to leave the strike zone, and he's not going to strike out. And now you've got the Mexico team in business, trying to score in the very first frame. Runners on first and second, just one out.
And now, one of the prides of Timber Creek High School in Fort Worth, Texas. He's on deck. Mateo Gil coming up first is Willie Calhoun. Got ahead of myself there slightly. Calhoun coming in with the 333 after starting off last night. Hey, what can you tell me about Willie?
He can hit. That much we do know, batting in that cleanup spot.
Former 4th rounder for the Dodgers back in 2015.
Most of these guys on the field have had some type of cup of coffee, whether it be in the minor leagues in the States or whether getting to the big leagues in the States. And for many of them, that's exactly what they're trying to do. Some of them are trying to get back to the major leagues. I know Bethencourt, he played AAA this year in Toronto's system. He's trying to get back to the big leagues. Several of these guys on the field today are trying to get back to the big leagues again. Bethencourt's a real good leader too, Christian Bethencourt. He has spent some time with several major league teams. He's a good catcher, he's a good thrower, and he's a good leader of men.
So calming his pitcher down, Paulo Espino. The team led by Jose Mayorga, the manager. He's pretty confident in his guys. Federales, you know, they're flying under the radar, if you will, with all the attention on Dominican Republic, the 2 Mexican teams, and Puerto Rico. It's a good opportunity to surprise in this debut.
These catchers aren't using a pitch comp, so a lot of times when there's a runner on second base, you'll see the catcher, as Bethencourt did right there, trot out to the mound and have a conversation with the pitcher, and what they have done, they have changed the signs.
Calhoun waits now after seeing him go back-to-back full counts. Got to be patient. Patience is the cornerstone of wisdom for him here.
Well, that's exactly what he's going to do. Espino's that guy that's not going to give in. He's a veteran pitcher. He's pitched a lot of games, and he's not going to give you your pitch. You've got to wait him out.
Runners on first and second, the 1-0 pitch. Looking to close him down. Second base, that looked like a balk. It is a balk. And call it there, so now.
It's the second balk we've seen in the Caribbean Series so far this year. We had a balk in our game yesterday, the Puerto Rico game and the Mexico Verde game. Just a little spin move there. He didn't step. That's why he called the ball. He tried to sneak one in there.
So Mexico trying to sneak a couple of runs across early here in the first inning, top of the first. At Estadio Panamericano in Zapopan, Jalisco, home of the Charros. The 1-0 pitch to Calhoun. Again, patient. 2-0. I've been kind of surprised by the turnout. Here's a look over to third base just in case. Yesterday we saw Puerto Rico handling Vasquez behind the dish, just gunning it over, and I'd just love to see aggressive catchers.
It wouldn't shock me to see a Calhoun swinging the bat here 3-0. They're conceding the run. They're playing the infield back. Anything on the ground scores a run, but if he swings here, he won't be trying to hit it on the ground.
He's going to let that one roll, so then it's now bases juiced for the son of the manager, Mateo Gil, who's been absolutely on fire there, Ron.
He drove in 3 runs yesterday against the Dominican team. They fell up short in that contest, but he had some great swings in the contest. I was watching the game. He was very patient. He went up the middle one time, then he went shopping in the gap to right center field for a double and drove in 2 runs. So he had a big day. So they've got the right guy in the batter's box right now. But if you're Benji Gil, the one thing you must do is you must take a deep breath and be patient.
Bases are loaded for Charros de Jalisco. Mateo Gil. The pitch. Again, just taking it, waiting for him to deliver a strike. It's 1-0. So since you're also very much a scout, what do you see in Mateo? Who does he compare to? It comes to mind like a Chris Bryant, maybe a Ernie Clement style hitter, no?
He's a big body guy. I do know that. I know he plays a lot of shortstop, but I do like him over at third base where he's played the last couple of days, and he's attributed himself very nicely the last couple of years in the Caribbean Series. It's a good pitch right there.
And just miss inside, so it's 2-0.
He hasn't thrown a strike in a minute. The last strike I believe he threw was that questionable strike to Walensky on the 3-0 pitch.
Jose Mayorga, he'll be managing Panama in the World Baseball Classic. So here's a golden opportunity for Mexico. The pitch. Again, waiting. 3-0. So that's 4 straight 3-ball counts here.
You got to give the Mexico squad a lot of credit. I mean, they are not swinging at the borderline pitches that Espino is trying to get them to offer at.
Down the middle, strike, 3-1. The Cardinals made a deal for Nolan Arenado in a blockbuster 6-player deal with the Rockies, and the Cardinals received Arenado. And amongst that group with Austin Gomber, Eluris Montero, Tony Lose, and Jake Summers was Mateo Gil. The pitch, 3-2.
Don't know what Mateo's looking for. He's throwing him 2 fastballs right down the middle at 85 miles an hour. I hope he's not looking for a breaking pitch. Because if he's looking for a breaking pitch, he's going to throw him another fastball. He's going to take it. It's going to be strike 3. And that's not good.
3-2, bases loaded, the pitch. And Mateo could not resist, lifts it. Betancourt gives it a look. And he's going to have it land in the glove. Very fortunate first out with the bases loaded.
Don't know what Gil was thinking about on that 3-1 fastball that was right down the middle. I get taking the 3-0 pitch because he had been so erratic in the strike zone. You don't want to swing 3-0 and get yourself out. But that 3-1 fastball that was right down the middle, that was the pitch that he should have been swinging at.
So that's going to bring up a guy they call Mr. TNT in these parts, Blake Madrid. Base is loaded, 1 down. 2 down and the base is juiced. And Bentancur asking for a different pearl. Now what do you do here in this situation, seeing that he's run up the count with pretty much everybody coming to the plate? Yet he was able to find that sneaky pitch to get Mateo out.
Well, you know he's not going to overpower you. His best fastball so far has been 85 miles an hour. So as a hitter, what you want to try to do is you don't want to be too aggressive. Take the ball up the middle, take the ball the opposite way.
Smoked! Deep drive! Adios! Bombazo!
How about that for the opposite way?
Grand slam to start things off. 4 para llevar, compa. Eight bombs, 56 ribbies for Jalisco on the season. Keep it going, keep it dumping. Thunderous swing, home run.
So he was up there and he was looking for the fastball. He didn't care if he got a breaking ball or not. He was sitting on that piece of cheese. And once he fell behind him, he got that fastball and he hit it where the grass doesn't grow. So fastball right down the middle, and as soon as he hit it, he knew it was gone. I mean, that ball was smoked, and he had a little bat flip to go with it as well, Adrian.
We call that estilo.
My goodness. 104 was the exit velocity on that swing.
Now, Rodriguez, grounder. He is out, but in the top of the first, Charros de Jalisco load him up, and then bang! Adios.
You have to give the order some credit because they were patient, and then they finally got the right guy to the dish, and he did some damage.
Took Doña Blankfield and Chavez the battery with this man right here they call El Choker. From Guadalajara, Jalisco, 29 years of age, Luis Ivan Rodriguez.
Well, no doubt Benji Gill has a lot of confidence in Rodriguez. That's why he's getting the ball in this must-win contest for the Mexico Rojo team.
So after witnessing the first Grand Slam in Serie del Caribe in about 5 years, here we are, 4-0 Mexico, 2-1 the count. And the pitch by Rodriguez to Stuff. Rodriguez has been pitching professionally in Mexico since 2013. He debuted at 16 years of age. The pitch. 3-2. For Jalisco in 2025, he posted a 2.79 ERA for Benji Gill and company.
That's why he's getting the ball. Benji has a lot of trust in him. He knows exactly what he's capable of doing. He knows he's the best guy on that staff to get them a win in this game here tonight.
So Jose Antonio Ramos leading the way for Panama. 3-2 the count, the pitch. Ramos staying alive. And after him, it's Camargo, Santos, Bentancur, Castillo, Caballero, Rodriguez, Arnaud, and Dennis. At your lineup for Jose Mayorga and Federales de Chiriquí, Panama. 3-2 count. 4-0 Mexico. Connor Hollis had starting things off. The pitch. And he's going to find himself a base knock in the 5.5. Jose Antonio Ramos aboard.
And nice at bat by Ramos, working the count to 3-2. Finally getting a ball that he can handle. Didn't hit it extremely hard, but was able to muscle it through the infield. Looked like a fastball that was running in on his hands, but he was able to hit it through the infield.
So now it's going to be Johan Camargo coming to the plate for Panama. Jumps on the first one. This looks like 2. Out at second. Out at first. And they find the pitcher's best friend. The double play.
Nice play by Rodriguez, the pitcher. I mean, it's a really good play by the first baseman. His name is Rodriguez as well. Nice feed to the shortstop. And then a really nice feed back to the pitcher, Hollis, to hit Rodriguez, who was on the move. That's a really nice double play turn by the Mexico squad.
And Johan Camargo is going to want that one back. He knows he just missed a pitch, quality pitch by Rodriguez. Deuces the double play. Now there's 2 down here in the bottom of the first. Still 4-0 Mexico.
And that's a difficult double play as well. 3-6-1 double play. And it wasn't hit that hard.
And that's going to bring up Johnny Santos. Santos. Chopper to short. Hollis handles. And we are done with the first frame. Mexico 4. Panama nothing. So Rodriguez, El Choker, shocks him after giving up a base hit to start things off with Jose Antonio Ramos. He locks it down, involves his infield. They turn a nice double play, and they are able to get out of a little small fraction of trouble. We'll be back, second inning, here on MLB Network, Serie del Caribe 2026. Back to Serie del Caribe 2026 from Zapopan, Jalisco. Alongside Rod Allen, I'm Adrian Garcia Marquez. Leo Eras stepping into the box, taking a strike, and that's a good start for Espino.
Yeah, he's able to get that breaking pitch over. He was not able to get that curveball over in the very first frame, and he throws that pitch about 31% of the time, so he desperately needs that pitch.
And Eras taken here. So it's 4-0 thanks to a grand slam by Madriz. Mexico got things started. They want to start a party here, but more than anything else, you got the game face on after losing last night. A tough loss. A good comeback, but a tough loss nonetheless against Dominican Republic.
You know, that game kind of mirrored our game in last night's contest. Dominican team got out to a 5-0 lead, and then the Mexico squad, the Rojos, they kind of inched back into the game, but weren't able to win the contest. Ramon Santiago of that Dominican team, they have been balling. I mean, they're doing everything right. They're 2-0. Their closer, Cordero's got 2 saves. They've got a day off tomorrow, I believe, so they're going to be playing with house money when they come back the following day. Well rested.
And very well rested. The 2-2 pitch there to Eras just missed on the outside, so now we have a 3-2 count again.
Yeah, he's already had a lot of 3-ball counts. 4 of them, as a matter of fact. He's not going to be around very long. He's already up to 30 pitches. 5 3-ball counts,
Eras.
Excuse me.
Oh, sorry. And Eras quickly jumped on this one, but foul. So 3-2. The count here in Jalisco. Home of the Charros. So it feels a little bit more festive tonight, right? Because it's the home team playing.
Right.
Espino presents, fires, misses. So a walk is drawn here by Leo Eras. He gets on board, and that's going to bring up the catcher, Santiago Chavez.
In the very first inning, Espino did a pretty nice job at shutting down the running game of the Mexico Rojo team. They love to run. Benji Gill's a very aggressive manager. They stole 198 bases during the summer. They ran a lot in the winter as well. But Espino did a nice job at slowing down the running game.
So Santiago, Jose Chavez gets in there, takes the first pitch, and it's a ball.
He continues to miss with the first pitch curveballs quite often. And then he's forced into throwing those fastballs over the plate in fastball counts. And that's kind of why he's gotten himself into trouble here.
Foul territory, and that going to find it there in the case of Caballero.
Yeah, we talked about all the foul territory in this ballpark.
Oakland-like.
Yesterday. You can't give up on any pop flies if you're the third baseman, the first baseman, the right fielder, or the left fielder. You can't give up on anything.
So Santiago Chavez from Saltillo, Coahuila, Mexico, 30 years of age.
Alfredo Amezaga is the third base coach for.
Great guy.
Yes, he is.
Former Angel.
Benji Gill's team. What's happening here is he's throwing so many breaking pitches, that many of the hitters from Mexico, when they do get a fastball, it's almost like it shocks them. They don't swing at it or they're looking for more breaking balls to swing at.
The 1-2 pitch for one of Benji's reinforcements, and he reinforces his swing, but foul. And it's still a 1-2 count. He spent the 2025-2026 Mexican Pacific Winter League catching for Ciudad Obregón, but he struggled at the plate. Batted .233, 11 extra base knocks, 17 RBI in 45 games. It'd be huge to give Mexico a bonus here with the bat. And a 1-2 count here as Paulo Espino prepares, fires, foul.
This has so far been a very difficult assignment for Espino. I mean, through the first 9 hitters, he's thrown 38 pitches and really not fooling anybody. He's not going to be out there very long unless he's able to start to throw some first pitch strikes and expand the strike zone and get some of these Mexico hitters in a more hitterish kind of swinging mood.
Chavez to third, out at second, turns it to first, and they find the pitcher's best friend, the double play. So Panama getting out of this little bind, and it's Espino getting himself out of the situation. That was a good pitch.
Well, he threw a ground ball, which is all he needed to do. Don't panic. Just wait around until you can get the ground ball. Nice feed to the second baseman, turned over nicely, and for the twin killing.
So now that's going to bring up Connor Hollis. Started things off. Or it's actually a switch here. Gamboa is up at the plate now for Mexico. So Gamboa comes in to pinch it. So I don't know where we'll get a report. We'll try to get it to why Hollis is no longer in the lineup, but Gamboa getting into the action here. And a nice curveball to drop it in there. Paulo Espino to start off 0-1. Top of the second, 4-0 Mexico. And the man on deck was responsible. Or excuse me, wait a couple guys. Got crazy. Mattis is the 5th hitter here, chopping it. And that's going to do it for Mexico in the top of the second. Been there, done that, my friend. And been there, done that. Benji Gil's having to make some adjustments at the last second here. So Connor Hollis is out. And we saw Gamboa get in. As a pinch hitter, he will remain, at shortstop. Coming to the plate, Christian Bentancur. Swinging and missing, and now a nice breeze over for everybody that was near home plate.
That was an outstanding pitch there by Rodriguez. I don't know if it was a cutter or a slider, but it had some nice action on it and hit the outside corner. Bentancur could not get to it.
And then he rises. That ball in the zone.
Tequila?
Oh, yes, sir. And tortas ahogadas. Have you ever had one?
No, what is tortas? What is that?
We'll get to that one in a second. So Rodriguez pitching to Castillo, now 2-0. Torta ahogada, you've seen a torta, right?
Yeah.
The regular torta. So what they do is they put this really tasty sauce on it. So it's kind of like okay, I know people have ordered Mexican food along the way from coast to coast, like a wet burrito.
Right.
But this is a torta that's wet with red sauce, red salsa, and it's just so delicious.
Oh,
but
wow.
You got to keep an eye on the heat levels. If not, you're in trouble for a couple of hours. Here's a chopper over to second, and handled nicely there by Wilansky, and that's the second out. I didn't mean to make everybody hungry, but look, they're ordering their tortas ahogadas.
That's probably exactly what they're doing.
And there was a guy in the background making one. He was ready. Brought it in. So that's going to bring up Caballero. 2 down here in the bottom of the second. And Chucker Rodriguez missing with the slider. And that's what you're seeing out of Charros de Jalisco going into this Mexico Rojo. The focus. They're not, you don't see them goofing around, taking it easy. All business tonight.
Well, they know what's at stake.
And that ball's fair and well played by Chavez. So, and Espino delivers. Ornelas unloads. Deep drive, right field. The ball is gone. Adios. Another bomba. Julian Ornelas from Tijuana to the world.
Ornelas came in with a game plan here against Espino. He's looking for off-speed pitches. His first time up, he was looking for off-speed pitches, and Espino was able to strike him out with a fastball upstairs. This time, he went up there on the very first pitch. He got a breaking ball. They didn't hit it extremely hard, but he got enough of it to hit it out of the ballpark. He's so strong, he hit that ball with one hand. It traveled 329 feet, and it left his bat at 92 miles an hour. Usually those don't produce home runs, but this ballpark is a hitter-friendly ballpark. The ball really travels in this yard, but this guy's big, strong, and physical.
And with Espino, uncharted waters for him in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic during the Winter League himself, and he didn't give one up, and now he's given up a couple of bombs. Here's Michael Wilansky, and quickly drives on the left, lays it. And that's going to be good for extra bases. Wilansky on his horse, and he's going to find the 2A.
All he has done is hit. He had 3 hits yesterday, another one here today, and we told you the first time he came up, he reminds me of Jacob Wilson, the star shortstop for the Oakland Ball Club, who last in Sacramento team, excuse me, they're in Sacramento now. But this is a beautiful swing. And he's not trying to do a whole lot of damage. This guy's just got some really good plate discipline and some great hand-eye coordination.
Quiet yet violent stroke. He's on second base, runner in scoring position again for Mexico, the 5-0 lead after the bomb by Julian Ornelas. Now Willie Calhoun stepping in there. Known as June by his family and friends. The pitch, and he takes it down the main stretch. It's 1-1.
It looks like to me that a lot of the hitters from the Mexico team are kind of sitting on the spin and letting some of the fastballs go by because they know that sooner or later they're going to get that curveball.
Takes a fastball there out of the zone, 2-1. Back in 2017, in Baseball America, Calhoun was rated the 5th best prospect in the Dodgers system, and that's saying something.
Absolutely.
We know the elite system the Dodgers have always managed. The pitch. Calhoun unloads. Well, almost hit it out, bounced over the wall. It's a ground ruled double. So Mexico, after what happened last night, not joking around tonight, they are all swinging it right now.
Espino has not figured out exactly what the team from Mexico is trying to do against him. They're taking all the fastballs, and every time he throws a breaking ball, they do not miss it. Here's another changeup that's absolutely smoked, but it's an off-speed pitch. These guys aren't missing them. And they're not trying to hit singles either. These guys are trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. They've come out here angry today after losing that ball game and last night.
Oh, Calhoun, nice and easy on Paulo Espino, who had his best season in Major League Baseball back in 2021. He pitched and had 35 appearances for the Nationals and a 4.27 ERA. Already some activity in the bullpen. They had him up, and it's Kevin Miranda that was up, already ready and throwing. As Panama's down 6-0.
Mexico has 5 hits, and 4 of those are extra bases. 2 homers and 2 doubles.
And that's going to bring up Mateo Gil, son of Benji. That sounds like a movie, right? Son of Benji.
It's got to be pretty cool, man, playing for your pops.
Right?
And you know Benji is extremely proud of his son because he understands how difficult this game is to play and to play it at a high level. And his son's playing it at a very high level.
And the whole family very, very much supportive of Benji when he was a player, and the sons followed. Has his other son named Garrick. What a great name, Garrick Gill. Here's Mateo trying to follow in his dad's footsteps, trying to work his way to the big leagues. The pitch, just a bit outside.
That's one of the things that we're seeing in the major leagues a lot these days. A lot of big leaguers' sons are playing now in the big leagues. A lot of guys whose fathers were stars in the big leagues, now their sons are starring in the major leagues.
And you got to give props to the moms, the wives, right? In this case, Carly Hill.
They do it all.
And this is going to get away. And Calhoun's going to advance. Now he's 90 feet.
You bring up a great point, because most of the time, dads are playing. And Benji was gone most of the summer, and he was playing in the big leagues, and he was always traveling. And it was mom that was driving the kids to the game and picking them up for practice and all those things. But that comes with the territory. And Christian Betancourt usually pretty good at blocking pitches. That was a breaking ball that he went with his backhand. Usually he's getting over in front of that baseball. That's the only way that you can block it and keep it in front of you.
The 3-0 pitch to Mateo Kidd. And this time he works the walk, going over to first base. And there was plenty of activity. Miranda was already throwing in the bullpen for Panama and for Paulo Espino. Just kind of like, do you remember that old commercial? Want to get away? Just having one of those moments here inside of these first 3 innings. And the pitching change is coming. So the tow truck's coming for him. Going to the bullpen is Jose Mayorga in Panama. Going to take a quick pause for the cause, and we'll be back. 6-0. Charros de Jalisco, Mexico Rojo. In Serie del Caribe. 22. Remember Wayne's World? When they turned back the clock, let's turn it back a couple of innings. And then we saw Madrid unload.
He got a 1-0 fastball that was right down the middle, and a lot of times those don't make it to the catcher's glove. And as soon as he hit it, he knew that it was gone. He nearly hit it out of the stadium, as a matter of fact. He jumped all that ball, traveled 440 feet.
And he took out a couple margaritas in the process. Runners on the corners, nobody out. 6-0 Mexico.
He's got a golden opportunity to drive in some more runs right here.
And last night it was Mateo driving in 3. Now it's Madrid with 4 and counting. Let's see what he does. Miranda's first offering just off of the plate from Dolega, Panama, the right-hander.
And Miranda pitched a little bit in the Blue Jays system this year before being released. He pitched in Double-A, also pitched in A-ball.
And at Vancouver, Jose Mayorga gave him some instruction there. So Miranda ended the 2025 season pitching for the York Revolution in the Atlantic League. There he presents again, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, he pitched for Mayorga. Mayorga managed that Vancouver club in the Toronto's organization. High A ball.
Black Madres take one. Again, 3-0. So it's contagious, no? What happened earlier with Espino. And now it's Miranda missing in the zone. And Mexico's hitters have been in the zone, zoned in on every single pitch that they can drive. They've done it. 3-0.
It would not shock me if he gets a fastball here to swing this bat again. Got a little cutter, a little breaking ball at 82 miles an hour. That's why he took that pitch.
So Madrid, selected in the 9th round in the 2017 MLB draft by the Pirates, made his major league debut in 2022 against the Cubs. Recorded a hit in his first at-bat. The pitch. And a walk. So they're giving out tickets to first right now for Panama's side, and down 6-0. Now the bases juiced again, and that.
The Panama pitchers not doing themselves any favors by not throwing strikes. I mean, you have to compete if you want to win a ball game, and they're just not throwing enough strikes. They have the ability to throw strikes. I don't know if it's the Mexico team that's scaring them out of the strike zone, or the time off that they had, or what the case may be, but they've got to do a better job at throwing some strikes if they don't want to get 10-run ruled here this evening. Did I say that?
Yes. It's in tight. Miranda still missing in the zone. There's Rodriguez. Taking a look, a little bit close.
I'm trying to get out of the way, too, if I'm a hitter, too, man. Bases loaded. Last thing I want to do is get hit. I want to drive in some runs. Although you get an RBI by getting hit, but I want to drive in a few.
So the Colombian takes another one. And it's interesting to see, and I'm glad to see it. This man from Cartagena. But more and more, you're going to see it in the World Baseball Classic, too, as time passes. The competition is getting better and better for qualification of World Baseball Classic. In the case of Colombia, they're coming. They've had, obviously, Edgar Renteria, to name a couple of them, a player that was key coming out of Colombia. Here's the pitch, and the Colombian drives some good. Fine Colombian, Cafe against the wall. That's going to give some energy to Mexico and the fans here in Jalisco. Driving in another couple of runs, as he is also going to register, and it's 7-0 Mexico. Or 8 runs, now 8-0. There we go. You know what? I didn't go to my math class back in high school. Sorry, Mr. Carnahan. Got to add them up, and Mexico's adding them up right, and still runners on the corners. Nobody out. 8-0 the lead.
And Benji Gil had a conversation with Harold Reynolds and Matt Vasgersian this morning, and he told them that it was a must-win for his ball club and that his team would be ready, and boy, are they ready. Rodriguez and eyelash from hitting another grand slam. They already have one. They nearly hit another one in this contest. They definitely got their hitting shoes on tonight.
So Leo Eras at the plate.
You look at something else that's been very troubling so far for this Panama squad. They've walked 5, and 4 of those have scored. So they're giving away free passes, and they're not able to get the outs to get themselves out of jams. When you walk that many batters, you're going to allow the opposition to put up crooked numbers, and that's exactly what Benji Gil's squad is doing. They're putting up a bunch of crooked numbers.
Runners on the corners, top of the third. The 2-0 pitch. Miranda now.
I kind of liked that interview today that Harold and Matt had with Benji Gil. The fact that he's not panicking. This guy's managed 12 years in winter ball, and he's won 6 championships.
It's incredible.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
He's managed for 12 years in the winter, and he's won 6 championships.
Yeah, where he manages, he wins. Look at Mexico in the World Baseball Classic last edition. For a lot of people, that was the final. Mexico versus Japan in the semifinal, because they proved to be pretty much the 2 best teams in the tournament. One had to cancel the other one out.
He also talked about how huge the 2023 World Baseball Classic was for Mexico. Not so much for his players, but for the young kids coming up following his players that have aspirations of playing baseball, to see those guys playing in the World Baseball Classic and doing so well. Randy Arozarena, his heroics, and everybody else that performed in that series, Isaac Paredes. So all these young Mexican kids, because of them showing what they did in the World Baseball Classic, guess what? They got their gloves out. They got their bats out. Now they want to be the next Fernando Valenzuela, the next Vinny Castilla, the next Benji Gil.
And many people are asking, what is that roster going to look like? We're going to have it here on MLB Network on Thursday. So we'll take a look.
Some of these rosters, man.
Loaded.
Ooh, have you seen that Dominican roster?
Yes.
I know it's not out yet, but I kind of know what it looks like.
A 2-2 pitch. Runners on the corners. Miranda presents to Eras. 3-2. Full count again. So there's one detail for Mexico's side. They've been extra patient at the plate, and it's paid off. 8-0. Eras waits again, and another walk. So it's kind of like a Dustin Hoffman, right? One said, "We're walking here." It keeps happening with Mexico right now, and they're enjoying it. It's 8-0, nobody down, and the bases are juiced again. And now for Panama, Humberto Guerrero getting loose, the right-hander. And coming to the plate now is Santiago Chavez, the catcher. And Chavez could not resist. Chasing after the first pitch. Fly to right center, or excuse me, to right field, and there's no tag there, so it's just the first out. So for Miranda, that's huge. Finally just getting a guy to not be patient. And that's going to bring up Gamboa, who came in for Connor Hollis. So Juan Gamboa in at shortstop now for Mexico.
Yeah, you know, Gamboa up there looking to do some damage with one out and bases loaded. He's trying to drive in all three of them. He's looking for one pitch in one area, and when you get that one pitch, when you're in a hitter-friendly count, you can't miss it. This is where you can keyhole the pitcher. Get your pitch.
So the Padres draft pick at the plate, fouling it back.
He got his pitch, and he missed it, but he did get his pitch, and that was a really good swing by Gamboa.
You wanted to send it to his hometown of Los Mochis.
That's exactly where he was trying to hit it.
Over 2,000 at-bats, minor league baseball, batted over 300. Gamboa.
That's a lot of at-bats.
In fact, in 2019, he started off first 300 at-bats, hit .345 with 11 homers, 60 ribbies, and 4 stolen bags. The 2-1 pitch, bases loaded. Nope, 3-1. So that's the 13th pitch that misses the zone. Only 7 strikes for Miranda coming out of the pen, relieving Paulo Espino, who couldn't find the strike zone either. The 3-1. Another walk. This one's a caballito run. Drive him in. Just with the eyes. So now the guy that started the party in this frame, top of the 3rd inning with the jonrón, comes back to the plate, Julian Ornelas.
I know the Panama squad is not throwing a lot of strikes, but at the same time, you've got to give the Mexico squad some credit. Because most of these guys are throwing 85, 86 miles an hour. It'd be very easy for you to go up Mexican League.
And speaking of winning championships, for Ornelas, gold medals.
Okay.
In 2018, Ornelas was part of that Mexican squad that competed in the Under-23 Baseball World Cup held in Colombia. Mexico won the gold, defeating Japan 2-1. Ornelas, first pitch, doesn't get it. So that's got to be nice. You play with your brother, Tirso Ornelas, a very good prospect for the Padres. The Ornelas family have to be happy. I know the
Padres always have some really good players, man.
Yeah, that's a system that, in fact, I venture to say, you know, the scouting. So since, and I know Logan White retired already, but when Logan White switched over from the Dodgers to the Padres, and it just began this process of prospect after prospect, then that's why Perello just likes to pull the trigger on so many deals, because there's kind of like, they feel a riches of talent in their system.
The Padres have more young players that were drafted by them playing in the big leagues than any other team, and they're playing for other teams. They're all over the big
that's always
leagues.
Been part of the show
AJ
there.
Preller, he knows how to find good players.
Yep.
And he's not afraid to trade them either.
The 1-2 count for Julian Ornelas. Kevin Miranda presents, bases loaded, 1 down. The pitch, missed, 2-2.
I was in San Diego and did a Padres game last year, for the Marlins, and the Padres had 6 shortstops, 6 guys that started of the 9 that were drafted as shortstops. The whole infield was shortstops, and 2 of the outfielders were shortstops, Merrill and Tatis. Bogarts, Manny, Cronenworth, all shortstops.
So Julian Ornelas could not resist, goes for the piñata and misses.
That's the second time he swung at that fastball up and struck out on it. So that's the pitch that he cannot lay off of.
Irresistible.
Kind of like you, buddy. Irresistible.
Now, going back to the Padres, and you make a great point. You can do the exercise. In the history of the Padres, the guys they've given up in deals that go on to become very good major leaguers, if not Hall of Famers, and the list, you can go Ozzie Guillen, Roberto Alomar, Joe Carter, keep it going. I mean, I know Carter came over from the Indians before the Padres, but, I mean, you talk about the Fred McGriffs making deals that later on don't pay off for the Padres, especially that Fred McGriff deal, man. I still think about that Sheffield. I mean, there was a time where you could look at the Padres and say that there was a lineup that could have had Bip Roberts, Gary Sheffield, Tony Gwynn, Kevin Mitchell. I mean, Benito Santiago keeps going.
All good players.
But they broke up the Beatles. Here's the pitch, a little bit high and tight, 2-1. So they got Yoko.
I was bringing that up as we could look at this last fastball up in the strike zone about shortstops. But you look at most teams have a lot of shortstops in the organization now, and they're putting shortstops in center field, they're putting them in left field. A lot of interchangeable parts in the big leagues. You've got about 6 or 7 teams that pretty much play the same cast of characters every day, but then you got the other 2/3 of the league that are kind of mixing and matching and playing matchups. That's exactly how teams have been playing these days.
You've seen that move pay off. Fernando Tatis Jr. moving from short to right field, now becoming a Gold Glover. Here's the pitch, just misses. So another walk and another run walked in. Walk in here. Again, Mexico 10. Panama, nothing. And the bases are still loaded with 2 outs.
This Mexico team's playing a little angry here tonight, but they've also been...
Bases loaded, 2 down.
You've said that quite a bit tonight already, bases loaded.
They have 4 of their runs from walks, or 4 walks have turned into runs, if you want to look at it that way, of the 10 that Mexico has scored, and pretty much everything else has been some type of laser driven somewhere.
This team, the Panama squad, man, having a difficult time of just throwing strikes. And if you continue to fall behind good hitters, and Mexico has some good hitters on this team, you're going to get punished, and that's why they have gotten punished. Take a look at this swing that Calhoun's getting ready to take if he gets a fastball over the heart of the dish.
And Guerrero probably was thinking the same thing. And you know what? I might not leave it so easy, but it's 3-0 now. And another walk. And another run. 11. This one goes to 11. Mexico. After what happened last night, and we keep talking about it, Benji said they were focused. They were locked in on rectifying things because he promised. He said it. We'll see you guys on Friday and then Saturday. So he kind of put the pressure on his team. To respond to that. And they've done it tonight. But like you said, with the help, able to find the strike zone, but Guerrero does here to start it off on Mateo Gil.
Now there's a first pitch strike. We have not seen many of those thrown so far by the 3 Panamanian pitchers.
6 walks this inning, 9 walks total in the ball game so far, top of the 3rd. The pitch, and Mateo can't resist, trying to jump on that one, foul.
And Guerrero's got a nice little fastball. It's 92 miles an hour. He's got that low 3/4 arm slot, which gives him a little sinking action in on the right-hander's hands. You saw that last pitch to Benji Gil's son, Mateo. It ran it on his hands, and he couldn't get to it. So he's got some nice running action if he throws some strikes.
And if you throw him a strike, he's locked in. He'll hit throughout 58 games in 2025-2026 in the Mexican Pacific Winter League with Jalisco. He batted .305 with 24 extra bases, 29 runs batted in, 9 stolen bags, and an .833 OPS. 1-2 here for Mateo Gil. Siéntate. Finally punched him out. But Mexico have an 11-0 lead now. Have taken advantage of the walks. Have nothing. Charros de Jalisco.
That was Billy Hall who just entered the game.
So Ornelas is out. And Hamilton in. And Eric Filia goes to right field for Reynaldo Rodriguez.
Nothing wrong with these players, in my opinion, but it feels like Benji Gill just trying to get them off their feet, give them a little rest here with a huge lead.
Hey, Valdez moves over from right field to first base, with some of the changes. But I love your point because that's one of the examples, one of the many, why players love Benji so much and love playing for him. He's going to give them opportunities, get some action, and if you respond, you ball, you play.
Well, they know they just won the championship a few days ago. So a lot of these guys have been playing a lot of baseball. So why not give guys like Ornelas and some of your star players the rest of the evening off to get them off their feet, to get them some rest, to get them rested up for the remainder of this series? This is the same thing that managers do in the major leagues when you have a contest like this. Not only will the Mexico team do it sometimes, but the opposite team will do it as well, get some of their regulars off their feet.
Arnaiz gets off of his feet, and Rodriguez presenting a fastball, fouls it off a little bit late there. Well, everybody's enjoying themselves tonight. They've enjoyed a fiesta. It's kind of like remember that old Bugs Bunny cartoon, the dun 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 dun, where they're just going around the bags?
Yeah, they had a close game last night with that Dominican team, losing by 1 run, but today they're having some fun.
Panama's not having fun.
Not yet. They got the music going. That's one of the things I love about winter ball, man.
Yeah.
It's just so festive in the stands, and everybody's having fun, and it's a party, and they're dancing, and they're really enjoying themselves.
Fernando Valenzuela enjoyed himself playing for Charros de Jalisco. He'd always talk about that, just finding ways to come back. Even as an active big leaguer, he was always active in supporting teams in Mexico.
I faced Fernando Valenzuela the year before he pitched for the Dodgers and was Rookie of the Year and MVP. He pitched for Navajo that winter in 1980, and I faced him. He's the best left-handed pitcher that I've ever faced.
His ERA that year,
what was it?
0.00, just to throw it in there.
I knew he was good. And then the next year he comes to the States, and then I was able to watch what he was doing. I was just an A-ball, AA player at the time, but I played against him in Mexico that winter. And this guy came to the big leagues, man, in his first 9 games, he pitched 9 innings in all of them. He was unbelievable.
Always.
Fernando Mania was born.
Hermano. Fernando Mania definitely was born, and I'm one of those, I still strongly believe he belongs in the Hall of Fame. I mean, operative word is fame. Has there ever been a more famous Latin player other than Roberto Clemente, if not Fernando Valenzuela?
He's right up the top of that list, though. He was incredible. To do what he did as a rookie for the Dodgers, it was fun to watch.
And such a great person. I had plenty of opportunities to hang with El Toro Valenzuela, one of the sweetest people. I mean, I started doing, in fact, I'll share this with you. When I started doing soccer, he's like, hey, what are you doing? We're at Dodger Stadium. He's like, yeah, I want to talk to you. What are you doing? And I go, what do you mean? Why are you doing soccer? Well, you're a baseball. Stay with us and pay. Like, no, Fernando, I also like to do my soccer. I like to do my NFL.
I got to pay the bills.
I got to pay the bills, Papa. I didn't get paid the way you did. Here's the pitch. The 1-2 pitch, grounded to third. Mateo turns it to second to get the out. And that's all Mexico will get in this situation here, but 2 down in the bottom of the third. It's funny you mentioned also, just to kind of close out on Fernando Valenzuela, I couldn't resist. I did have to ask him. I mean, you dominated everybody, Hall of Famers. Let's go back to that 85 All-Star game and the way you dealt with those first 6 hitters in that lineup. But I said, who was the guy that gave you the most trouble? Who is going to be my surprise of all surprises that actually knocked you around pretty well? He didn't even let me finish the sentence. He said, Chris Spire. He said, I could throw that guy in aspirin and he'll drive it to center. So of all people, right? Chris Spire got it done. Here's a chopper, and that's going to get it done for Mexico. And they conserve the 11-0, and Rodriguez, Luis Ivan Rodriguez, El Choker, cruising. We'll be back. MLB Network, Serie del Caribe 2026.
Think switching to T-Mobile's a whole complicated thing? Nah.
That turned into bases loaded, walks and runs, and it's been all Mexico all night here in Zapopan, Jalisco, alongside Rod Allen. I'm Adrian Garcia Marquez. Serie del Caribe 2026, and this guy got things started with the grand slam. Blay Madres.
Yeah, that home run that he hit, the grand slam, it left his bat at 102 miles an hour, and it traveled 440 feet.
Yeah, he put a tattoo on him, a charro tattoo.
The way he looks in the batter's box, man, he looks like he can do some damage. He's got a nice balanced swing, a nice approach.
Yeah, when he debuted in the big leagues for the Pirates, not only did he get his first base knock in his first at-bat, he had 3 hits in that game. The first time we'd seen that since Jason Kendall did it in their MLB debut. So Madres over to first.
Jason Kendall was a good catcher.
Excellent.
Really good catcher for a long time.
Too.
And he can run. He stole a lot of bases.
Yeah, he was good with the gun smoke behind the dish, but and he'll get a jump on you as well. Sometimes go full Ricky on you. Gotta love this. The fans are enjoying it. The mascot's out there taking pictures. Like Bad Bunny, right?
Yeah. And
Debí tirar más fotos.
Guerrero's got that natural sink on his two-seamer, and his arm slot is forcing him to miss on the outside corner with that pitch.
Filia, first AB, and it's a hot one. Over to first. They're going to get him, but the runner will advance. Filia getting into the action, going into right field, and immediately caught that first out, and now jumps on this one. And he unleashes down the first base.
And nice job by Hernandez, second baseman, coming over to get the ball, to get the out at first. Nice job. And also a nice job by Guerrero getting over there to cover.
You see Filia just doing the safe sign. Buddy, you're out by about a good foot there. So Panama reacting well. And Panama's giving us some leyendas in baseball. Started with the great Mariano Rivera, for my money, the greatest closer to ever live. Man, he was definitely lights out, Mr. Sandman.
A lot of people would echo them same thoughts that you just mentioned, especially in this part of the country. And what a humble young man, too.
Yeah.
Just one of the best people you ever could meet.
And so calm and cool. He never looked nervous, never broke a sweat. Yes. And they're right. Luis Gonzalez has something to chime in about that.
I was in the ballpark that night. I was broadcasting games for the Arizona Diamondbacks at that time. And when Mariano trotted out the bullpen, the last thing that you were thinking that the Diamondbacks had a chance, because Mariano just did not give up many runs, but somehow, some way, they were able to score a couple of runs and win that game. And, man, it was exciting. It was exciting.
Yeah. Wait a minute. It's meant to be in October. Here's the pitch. And he misses in the zone again. Guerrero also needs a little bit of a GPS system to help him out. That's 11 walks now, given up by Panama. 11 runs. And now to aboard, Leo Eras working the walk. So here's Santiago Chavez, the catcher.
I know that Panama's not throwing strikes efficiently at all, but at the same time, you've got to give some credit to the team from Mexico, because these guys are not giving their at-bats away. They're not leaving the strike zone. They're not helping out the pitchers from Panama. They're just not helping them.
And Santiago Chavez looking to help Charros de Jalisco wake up that bat. As I mentioned, he struggled a little bit in the Mexican Pacific League, but during the regular season, he was one of the best hitters around. It's very clutch in situations like these, and that's what Benji Gill's hoping for from his catcher in this situation. The pitch. Because if we know Benji, we know that he doesn't want to stop. Going to keep it going.
He's got a wide open stance, about as wide open stance as you'll ever see. As a matter of fact, he's almost got that left foot out of the batter's box. And that would be Chavez. Look at his stance. Look at that left foot.
Chavez Drives one to left center. And that's going to be a second out. And runners will hold at first and a second. So going back to Panama and the greatest players, I mean, Mariano Rivera starts the conversation, but we're not going to forget about Don Rod Carew. Man, I mean, you saw him in his purest form as a hitter. Was there anybody better?
He was a great bunter too. He was one of the best bunters to ever play the game. He could hit. Don't get it twisted, but man, he could handle the bat. He could handle the bat.
And how many times did you catch people trying to imitate that batting stance?
Yeah, you couldn't imitate that batting stance.
Imitated, never duplicated. Rod Carew.
Sweet Rodney Carew. He had a sweet swing, boy.
Like Julian Ornelas, we saw that sweet swing. Him and Madris have hit home runs. Madris, the man standing at second base, had the grand slam.
Rodriguez nearly hit a grand slam too. He hit a double off the gate to left field. It nearly a couple of inches. He'd have had a grand slam.
So there hadn't been one since 2021, and we almost had a couple tonight. So far here, still the struggles to find the strike zone for Panama's pitching as Guerrero, 24 pitches, 18 balls. That one tucks in there. 3-1. So back to Rod Carew. Look at the number. 328 career hitter. So we're trying to bring a little something positive to the Panamanians. We love them. They've been great contributors to the game of baseball. Here's a contribution by Gamboa to the warning track. And that's going to do it at the top of the fourth. Mexico still leading 11-0 in Zapopan, Jalisco. Their home park, Estadio Panamericano. Handling business tonight, extra focused after suffering a loss last night against Dominican Republic. Tonight, they're grumpy and unhappy with everything the managers are doing. They're loving it. It's 11-0 Mexico in Estadio Panamericano in Zapopan, Jalisco, alongside former big leaguer and player in Japan as well, Rod Allen. I'm Adrian Garcia Marquez. Pleasure to be on with you tonight. Serie del Caribe 2026 on MLB Network.
Well, the one thing that Benji Gill knew is the fact that Dominican was playing Puerto Rico this afternoon, so all those teams would be 1-1. And with a win here this evening, if they're able to hold on, which they should, they'll be 1-1. So they're right back in the thick of this tournament.
Johan Camargo fouling it back. So give some credit where, Rodriguez, despite having that lead, he hasn't changed anything at all. He's just mowing through the lineup, not giving him a chance to breathe. 0-2.
You bring up a great point because so many times when you have a huge lead, pitchers will just try to throw fastballs to get outs and throw strikes. But he's continuing to use his entire repertoire, using the breaking pitches, using the two-seamer, using the cutter, using the curveball, and he's kept the Panamanian squad out balance all night long because he's continued to pitch.
And Camargo chops it foul, staying alive at 0-2.
Yeah, Panama was off yesterday, and while the other four teams competed, this is their first game.
And fouling it back, Chavez just gives it a courtesy look, ended up in the micheladas back there.
That's why Rodriguez is so good. It's the fact that he's changing eye levels. He's going up, he's going down, he's going east, he's going west. And he's not throwing anything over the heart of the plate, has not made any mistakes over the heart of the plate. And look at the location of that breaking pitch. You can see a little frustration starting to settle in for some of the Panama hitters. That's just an outstanding breaking ball. It looked like a strike all the way into the last possible moment. The bottom just fell out of that breaking pitch.
So he doses them some vitamin K. Remember I taught you that word yesterday for filthy? Do you remember it?
Yes. What was it?
Sucio.
Sucio. Sucio.
Here's Santos. Johnny Santos. Rodriguez firing and missing. 2-0. Bottom of the fourth, 11-0 Mexico. Party started early. Grand slam by Madrid. And they haven't looked back since. 2-1. And it's surprising also when you look at Panama's roster and lineup. A lot of guys with major league experience, right. A lot of guys that were great prospects inside of major league systems. But tonight, they've been pretty quiet. Look at this. Oh, almost. Got through for the base knock. Mateo Gil trying to play that bounce. And there you have it. A man on first finally for Panama, base knock. And that's their first hit, if I'm not mistaken, if not the second, right? It's the second knock.
And this ball had some top spin on it off of the bat of Santos, right on the dirt, and then hit that dirt once again and then jumped right over the glove of Gil.
And yes, Ramos started the evening for Panama with the base hit and then quiet bats until now.
Something else regarding this outing by Rodriguez, a lot of times pitchers that are sitting down as much as he's been sitting down while his offense has put on this kind of an onslaught, a lot of times you just don't stay sharp. But he's been able to stay sharp even though a lot of the times that he's gone in while they've hit, he's sat for 30 minutes.
Yeah, but he understands that Benji Gil had deposited a lot of faith in him today to win this game, to lock it down, despite whatever run support he was going to get. For him, consecutive seasons where his ERA is hovering just around, 2.78, 2.79, a couple of seasons in a row. So he's very stingy. Appeal to first, nothing there.
I can see why. He appears to be a step ahead of all these hitters from Panama. Back-to-back check swings from Bethencourt, one on the breaking ball away and the other one on the two-seam fastball inside.
The 2-1 pitch. Bentancur drives it to right center. And Hamilton having a little bit of trouble with the lights and the sky in Zapopan, but he's able to find it and get that out. But he's talking and saying, you know what, that was my bad. I think I misread it a little bit. Let's see it again. Rod, take it away.
And Billy Hamilton also played for Benji Gil during the summer, and that's one of the reasons why they stole 198 bases. And Billy Hamilton stole 326 bases in the majors. And 1 year in the minors, he stole a record 155. Is that crazy?
That's crazy. That's Ricky Henderson level crazy.
He could fly. He could fly.
Ricky?
No.
Or Ham? No, I don't.
Billy.
Yeah, Billy could fly, but just anytime we get a chance to mention Rick, love to mention him.
He was special.
Absolutely. Luis Castillo coming up to the plate. 2 down. Runner on first. 11-0 Mexico still. And Ricky also had a little dip in the pool when it comes to Mexican League Baseball. And he only went in there in the late 70s, early 80s, and he only batted like .470. Man, Ricky was exactly that. Special and then some. And what a character. 0-2.
Greatest leadoff hitter of all time.
Easily.
And all you had to do was ask him while he was here. He would have told you. Ricky be Ricky.
Yeah, I love it. It's just his whole personality, the whole aura of Ricky Henderson. Those 80s, late 80s Oakland A's teams would not have been the same without Ricky Henderson.
None of the teams that he played on would have been the same without him.
And not even the Padres back in when he was finishing it out, right? It was fun to watch. That's when I started broadcasting, started getting in as a broadcaster for baseball. We see Chavo del Ocho already in the house as well. And just seeing Ricky and Tony talk baseball. Like, I just sat down and I just enjoyed, man. I just listened. And that was a suggestion by Davey Garcia, may he rest in peace, former manager for former manager for the Angels and an assistant there with the Rockies.
Great baseball, man.
Excellent base. 70 years, right, in the game for him. But he said, when you see that, you sit down and you just pay attention. Rodriguez paying attention to everything he's doing on the hill, dominating. And with the dominating 11-0 lead, great cushion for El Shocker. Charros de Jalisco. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Serie del Caribe 2026, alongside Ron Allen, I'm Adrian Garcia Marquez. Top of the fifth, Mexico leading the way. Charros de Jalisco, 11. Federales de Chiriquí representing Panama, nothing. And Beeham, Billy Hamilton, the pride of Taylorsville, Mississippi, at the plate.
Well, if you're in the infield and you're on the Panama squad, you know you got to get rid of that ball in a hurry with Billy Hamilton running down that line should he hit something on the ground.
And Hamilton didn't let that ball hit the ground in center field, tracking it down nicely, checking the speed. But it doesn't surprise us that he was able to adjust the body like a receiver on a route, because he was a former standout receiver in high school.
And a lot of times that speed, if you do take a bad route, that speed, that world-class speed will allow you to make up for it.
In fact, I looked up the numbers for him. You know how many touchdowns or how many passes he caught? Back in 2009 in high school, 49 catches, 742 yards, 18 touchdowns. And he also made 68 tackles, intercepted 7. That's an athlete.
He was that dude.
He was that guy. Him, 2-2. And Guerrero was hoping for the call, doesn't get it. So now it's a full count again tonight.
You bring up a great point about 2 sports stars in high school. Those guys go on to be special players. If you specialize in one sport too early as a kid, you're going to be in trouble.
So Hamilton retired 4-3. I like that point, but also you've seen it as a scout. You've seen the differences over these last, let's call it 20 years, where players that are capable of playing 3 sports are encouraged to focus on one now. If you're a great football player, you have a future. The football coach doesn't want you playing soccer or basketball or baseball. Maybe you can run track just to kind of keep the legs moving, but they don't want to risk these guys. They want them all for themselves, which creates that specialization for a specific sport.
Yeah, it's tough when you do run into a coach that doesn't allow you to play other sports, because the motor skills that you can learn from football and basketball and soccer and baseball, they're all different, and they can all help you no matter what sport you're playing. I mean, football, you learn toughness. Basketball, of course, you learn quickness. Baseball, it's hand-eye coordination. Soccer, you're running a lot. So
you're running a lot, and the concept of teamwork. You can't get it up the field by yourself. And in football, you need your teammates. Now, I'm going to ask you this. Here's a chopper. And that's the second out again through Route 43. Your favorite 2-sport, 3-sport athlete ever, baseball player? I know mine's Bo Jackson, hands down. But for you?
Well, Bo's up there. I mean, there's no doubt about that. He's got to be, close to the top. There hasn't been that many of them. I mean, Brian Jordan did it. He played for the Falcons. He also played for, the Atlanta Braves. And then you had Dion as well, that played for the Falcons and also played for the Braves in Cincinnati. It's been only a handful of guys that can do it at the major league level.
Mexico go down 1, 2, and 3. Vámonos. Finally, Guerrero's even saying it to himself. Finally, a quiet inning for Mexico. Leading 11 Major League stars will be representing their countries. That's Thursday at 7 Eastern only on MLB Network. Mexico, Panama, they will be participating in the World Baseball Classic. In fact, both managers will be leading their countries in that justa, that tournament that has become absolute fire. The last edition was probably the best one ever. And Japan, the reigning champions, looking to defend the title with an ultra-loaded squad, and that's minus Roki Sasaki. But it will count on not the pitcher version of Shohei Ohtani, but the hitter. Definitely. Here's Caballero, Erasmo Caballero, who played in the World Baseball Classic in 2023 for Panama. And he's fortunate to get on base. Off that grounder, doesn't quite hit it right, but he's going to get on base nonetheless with the air.
No doubt I'm looking forward to the announcement of the rosters on Thursday. I'll be dialed in for that. I want to see the talented, most talented players in the world.
And Gamboa he even knew it. He just let that one get away, and Madrid couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. Caballero had ideas of trying to get to second base, and he thought better of it.
You know, with Mexico side and Benji Gill in the World Baseball Classic having that semifinal run and losing to the eventual champion Japan, some of the players that have already announced, have you checked out, maybe I'll send you some of those links if you haven't, how Mexico has announced their roster through social media?
Oh, really? They have?
They've done it in such a creative form. I'm going to leave it up to all of you at home, but make sure you do it. Get onto social media and find WBC Mexico announcements as they have announced the roster of Grande Rosarena, one of the first ones. I'm not going to burn it. It's like a great movie. Just you got to see it yourself. But also Alejandro Kirk.
Yep.
Will be the first time he participates in a World Baseball Classic representing Mexico. And in fact, Benji Gill on MLB Network talked about him being that leader, not because he's vocal, but by example for that great catcher that does surgery behind the dish for the Toronto Blue Jays.
And he also played in the World Series. I mean, that's a perfect example for all these young kids to look at one of their own that comes from their own country and playing in the World Series. That's why a lot of the kids in Mexico love to play the game of baseball. What they did in 2023 in the World Baseball Classic. It helps. I mean, guys like Vinny Castilla, guys like Benji Gill, guys like Fernando Valenzuela, anytime they have a player, you know what I mean?
Yep. Adrian Gonzalez, Edgar Gonzalez. Edgar, in fact, a former manager for the Mexican national team as well. 1-2 the count here for Rodriguez versus Rodriguez. It's Luis, El Choker Rodriguez, who's kept them quiet, looking for a double play, well fielded. A man that's won a Gold Glove and makes the throw a little bit complicated there for Gamboa, so they're only going to register the out at second. But you saw him how he went full Greg Maddux on you. He's won a Gold Glove defending the pitching position.
He got too cute with this one, though. He had plenty of time. Once he grabs his ball, if he sets his feet, he gives the shortstop a better feed. They get two. But he grabbed it, then he threw off balance, and it was not a good throw. He has plenty of time to set his feet. But a little athletic play there, not able to get the one good throw, but he did get the out.
They're going to throw like a Raider quarterback.
Yeah.
I had to throw a little dig at the silver and black real quick. Things are going to change there real quick as well. Arnaez fouling it off first pitch on that slider by Rodriguez, who's been in full cruise control. Going back to the Mexican national team, Randy Rosarena, obviously, like I mentioned, he confirmed. Alejandro Kirk has confirmed. Another player that's very interesting is Jaron Duran from Buena Park, California. And obviously with the Red Sox, and now Jaron's going to join that squad. And Alec Thomas, another player there that round out the outfielders.
Good players.
Yeah.
It's all going to come down to pitching, though. I mean, it's some really good offenses. All these teams will have. The Japan team, Dominican team, they've got a star-studded offense as well. But it's all going to come down to pitching, just as it has the last number of years. And that Japan team, it's the team to beat. I mean, they've won the tournament more than anybody else. I know a lot of these teams have star-studded rosters, but the Japan team is the team to beat.
The 1-2 pitch, one down. Rodriguez offers. Arnaez. It's into the double play. So Rodriguez once again finding the pitcher's best friend. The double play. Still 11-0. Charros de Jalisco. Mexico in cruise control in Zapopan.
In a contest like this, where you got the Panama squad that's clearly struggling, clearly doesn't have the pitching that they need. If they're trailing in the bottom half of the seventh inning after they have batted by 10 runs, they will call this game.
So there you have it. Those are the rules.
I didn't make them.
Top of the sixth. Cristian Gastelum in for Mateo Gil.
I'll tell you what, though, as I've been impressed with the Mexico team.
Gastelum with the fly to center, short part of right center, handled there. So that's going to be Ramos coming in to make that play, Jose Antonio.
And I say that, Adrian, because having been a former player and a hitting coach in different roles in baseball, when you have a team that's hitting as well as the Mexico team is, and they get themselves in great hitters counts, you see a lot of guys that get themselves out by trying to do too much. But they haven't done any of that tonight. They basically stayed within themselves with tremendous plate discipline, and they've always had themselves in some great hitters counts.
And Black Madres couldn't wait, and Madres dominated there down the first base line for out number 2. But you're right, and Mexico, last night you saw some of that, maybe trying to, do a little too much with a certain at bat, and it came back to bite them tonight. Patience was the cornerstone of wisdom for them, and they were able to just display a great eye, and then a thunderous stroke when they got into the zone. Here's Eric Filia.
Yeah, they felt like they let one get away in last night's contest against Dominican. Although Dominican is the reigning champion, they won it last year. Albert Pujols was their manager. Albert Pujols will be managing the World Baseball Classic Dominican squad. That's why he's not managing now. Ramon Santiago is managing the Dominican team.
Filia feels it. Drive to right. But it's going to just be the third out. Pause to the cause. And we are back in moments here in Zapopan. And behind the dish, Francisco Cordova. And he went in to pinch it for Mateo Gil. And now Christian Gastelum is on the hot corner. Ibarra deals, call it a strike.
Ibarra sinker slider. He's got a little tilt on that fastball, especially against the right-handed batters from the arm slot that he throws with. He gets a natural sink on the outside part of the plate. He also will come inside with a fastball at about 85, 86, just to keep you honest, so he can get back to the outside corner, which is where, for the most part, he lives.
Jose Ramos, the center fielder. 1-1 count, getting aggressive there. Now it's 1-2 after the foul. You mentioned, in talking about how Rodriguez is giving up those 2 base hits, gave it up at the very start of the game, and then last inning, cruise control all of the way. We've seen him just dealing, staying in the zone and forcing Panama to swing and letting his defense do the work behind.
He worked all 4 quadrants of the strike zone beautifully this evening. I mean, did not make one mistake over the heart of the plate. That's hard to do.
Ibarra offers inside for ball 2. 2-2 count then.
Ibarra is looking for a ground ball. And the arm slot that he throws with, and he keeps the ball at the bottom of the strike zone, more than likely he is going to get that ground ball. Just a matter of how hard it's hit, whether they get a double play or not.
Kaiser. Poison. Saw the swing out of his shoes, could not connect. Let's check it out on the replay.
This fastball tailing away was set up by him coming inside on the previous 2 pitches with fastball. So he goes right back outside with the 80-mile-per-hour changeup, and it fades it right away from him. It's a beautiful piece of hitting for him. And he knew exactly what he wanted to do.
Now Camargo stepping in. Ibarra firing and just missing a little high. And Camargo now facing the lefty, goes over to the right side to hit. And it wasn't working out all that well for anybody against Rodriguez tonight. 2-0.
After tonight, we'll have 3 teams that will check in with 1 win and 1 loss.
But it's kind of what you expected. We all expected, no? For them to kind of just divvy it up early on. Take a look at that K.
It was a beautiful pitch. And located on the outside part of the plate.
Camargo unloads. Gone. So Middle Earth Finally getting on the board and knocking that donut down, but it's blowing the house down with one swing. Johan Camargo.
I told you that the Panama team, they didn't care who came into the game after Rodriguez left. They just wanted Rodriguez to leave. And I don't care if the guy was throwing 100 miles an hour. They felt like they had a chance, and they put together some quality at-bats here. 2 hits, one of which a home run that left the building. But the fact of the matter is the count was 2-1, and Camargo, he didn't miss it. Take a look at the swing. Little fastball that got way too much plate, and he lifted and separated. And you know what? As soon as he hit it, he knew it was gone. We talked about this ballpark being hitter-friendly. 431 feet. It left his bat at 101, the exit velocity.
Well, Camargo delivers the cargo for Panama. Played 7 seasons in Major League Baseball with the Braves, Phillies, and Giants from 2017 to 2023. Played 5 for Atlanta. His best season was in 2018 when he hit 272, 19 homers and 76 ribbies. Well, he drives in a couple and he hits a bomb to make it 11-2 here in the bottom of the 6th. And Gastelum will handle this in foul territory for the second out on Santos. You know, it's kind of also with Ibarra. Maybe he did forget this guy played almost a decade in Major League Baseball. You don't throw a pork chop to a wolf.
And the count was 2-1 too.
Christian Bentancur.
And give Panama some credit getting on the board.
Another well-hit ball. So the lumber coming out for Panama. Here in the bottom of the 6th, he wants to extend it. The throw into second, not going to get him. So that puts Panama back in business here as they try to just keep it alive.
And you talked about Camargo having some big league time. Bethancourt also has some big league time. Spent last year in AAA. But he's played in the big leagues with the Rays, the Marlins.
He's well-traveled. The Braves, the Rays, Cubs, the Padres, the A's, the Marlins.
Been around.
Chorros, yes. And he definitely will be back with Chicago on a minor league deal going into this season. And Benji is just seeing like, wait a minute now. Ibarra's giving up more base knocks than Rodriguez did the whole entire game for the first 5 innings.
Go figure.
And Panama saying, as you mentioned, well, thank you. Took that nightmare from us. Luis Castillo. Swings and misses 1-1. Wow, I haven't heard those Bengal Bus songs in a long time. It's popping here. El Estadio Panamericano in Zapopan, Jalisco. The pitch. Oh, hate to see that.
Hit the bat. Did it?
It looked like it hit his hand.
Hit batter?
Let's take a look. You tell me, let's check it on the remix.
Hit the bat. That's bat. Look at it. Bat knob.
Ooh, it is. Great eye. That's a scout's eye right there.
You got that right, partner. I can see it right away. And then also, he didn't flinch. I mean, you get hit in the hands, you're going to be shaking your hand or you're going to be doing something. He didn't play it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he didn't sell it at all.
Know? So he's not going to get an Oscar.
No. So the count is 2-2. 11-2 ball game. Bottom of the 6th. Ibarra fires. Siéntate! That was the changeup, the venom. So it cancels the ideas for Panama to get another run, but they do. Get themselves on the board. I see.
The ball really carries well in this ballpark. They say only
Leo Eras. And Eras will be retired 4-3. Enrique Saldaña from Panama City 26 years of age. Signed with the Rockies as an international free agent back in 2015. And he pitched last season, 2025, for the Lake Erie Crushers of the Frontier League.
That first fastball, 91 miles an hour that he threw. So he's got a decent heater.
So Mexico, if they want to put an end to this, an exclamation point might have to come from Francisco Cordova. And Saldaña offers just a bit outside, seeing if he bites. He doesn't. He takes a strike there, 1-1. A man from La Lixcoyan, Veracruz, 41 years of age, veteran catcher. In professional baseball in Mexico since 2007, has accumulated almost 500 runs batted in and 107 bombs. The pitch just missed outside, 2-1.
Little slider that he missed with at 82 miles an hour. And his previous pitches have all been two-seamers in on this right-hander. He stands on the extreme first base side of the rubber. And that's why he stands on the extreme first base side of the rubber, because he opens up with that front foot when it lands, and that gives him the arm slot to throw that good sinker inside to the right-handers. That's why he stands on that side. You'll see a lot of sinker ballers stand on the extreme first base side of the rubber for that same reason. That pitch right there.
And on 3-1, he retires Cordova. You know, I think Betancourt told him challenge him. He only hit 158 in the Pacific Winter League in a slash line that included only 4 extra bases across almost 60 at-bats. You got to go after him.
Yeah, 3-1 pitch up and in. Tough pitch to get to. That's the second pop-up that Betancourt has caught this evening with all the foul territory here.
That brings up Gamboa with 2 down. Gamboa came in for Connor Hollis, who had to leave the game, and Juan Gamboa took over as shortstop. Down the middle.
And give Saldaña some credit. He's come in throwing strikes. And the previous 3 pitchers that and Panama has ran out there today, they just could not find the strike zone at all.
Doesn't find it there, a little bit late. So you're right, Saldaña coming right after him saying, you know what, nothing to lose here. We're down 11-2, I'm chasing him. I'm going after that strike zone, I'm pounding that zone.
And the velo only 90-91, but he's got some good movement with that two-seamer.
And just missing outside on that one to even the count.
That was a changeup at 81.
The 2-2 pitch, just a bit inside. So another full count tonight. Got a full moon, we got plenty of full counts.
Right.
Saldaña deals, Gamboa misses on it. Fly ball, center field, done. So Mexico can't get it done and knock him out just yet. We go to the bottom. Excuse me, on the pitching for Panama. But when you look at it, 6 base knocks for Mexico, 5 for Panama, 11-2 ball game. Rod, this means there's been a lot of walks tonight and a lot of carreras de caballito, which is walks with runners and bases juiced. The pitch from Ibarra.
Yeah, Mexico has had base runners and base traffic all night long. Really, they've kind of slowed down the last couple of innings, but the first 5 frames, I mean, they just had base runners galore.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you agree with Benji making the move of bringing in a Cristian Gastelum in for Mateo Gil? Quite a few changes in the lineup. Julian Ornelas got to sit down a little bit as well. I mean, maybe that's what these guys are discussing. Hey, did Benji do it right or no?
I don't have a problem with Benji getting some of his regulars off their feet, because those guys that play for him every day, they've been playing a long summer. A lot of these guys played a long winter. So if you can get some of the younger players into a contest like this and get them some kind of experience in the Caribbean Series, why not do it? You know, why not do it? You got a 10-run lead, 11-run lead. Why not let some of the young kids play?
And that's very much a Benji thing to do. I mean, that's why players love to join him on his teams. When he invites you, you know what, I'm looking at you, kid. Let's go. And the reason why, they know they're going to get some at-bats. They know they're going to get out there, and Benji's going to entrust them to close out games like these, in situations like these. And kind of brings us back to what we were discussing, in a sense, yesterday. Benji is such a player's manager. Wherever he's gone, he's won. You mentioned the 6 championships in Mexican baseball out of 12 seasons managing. Why hasn't Benjamin Gil gotten an opportunity in Major League Baseball? I think it's overdue by this point. I thought instead of Phil Nevin getting the job there when he was a coach for Matt and they're on the bench in Anaheim with the Angels, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of Catella Street, they went to Phil Nevin instead of Benji, and then I thought he'd get an opportunity with the Padres, but they went to Schilt instead. When is he going to get his shot?
Do you know if Benji has gotten opportunities to interview for big league jobs?
Yes.
He has?
Yes.
Well, if that's the case, and he continues to win the way that he's winning in winter ball, I mean, he's managed 12 years. He's won 6 championships. He performed very well in the World Baseball Classic. So he's going to get an opportunity at some point in time, because he's on the radar of everybody out there. Everybody knows Benji Gil is. He was on national television today talking to Harold and Matt Vasgersian. So it's not that people don't know about Benji Gil. So it's a matter of that right general manager or whoever that may be giving him that opportunity.
And yes, it's only a matter of time, I feel, and a lot of people feel that, you know, we know what he's like. He's a baseball lifer, you know, and that's why we were discussing how Mateo Gil, you know, having both of his sons play baseball. Carly Gil, his wife, handling business at home, raising 2 great young men, and one of them, since he was 12 years old, and Mateo showed the inclinations of following in his dad's footsteps while dad was away trying to establish and eventually win a World Series title with the Angels.
I think a lot of sons whose fathers play professional baseball attempt to follow in their father's footsteps. It's not an easy thing to do. Pro ball is not easy, especially getting to the big leagues and staying in the major leagues. But as we said earlier today, there's a lot of really good sons, offsprings of some really good major league players that are playing today.
Yeah, just think about the Guerrero family, right? Coming to mind recently. This comes to mind. Rodriguez, base knock into right field off of Ibarra. So now there's 2 aboard for Panama. Runners on first and second here in the bottom of the 7th. You know, obviously the Griffeys come to mind.
And both teams now have 6 hits apiece. Ibarra not really fooling anybody, whether it be the left-handers or the right-handers, and that's why Benji Gil's gotten somebody up in his bullpen. But with that being said, all Ibarra needs is a ground ball here to help him to start to get out of this inning by getting a double play. That's what he should be thinking about.
Arnaiz stepping up. Couldn't resist that first offering from Ibarra, fouling it. At 11-2, Mexico jumped out early with the 4-0 lead thanks to a grand slam by Madrid. And then dropped 7 in the 3rd inning. Arnaiz drives it to left. Oh, Leo Eras making the play. Fine Mexican leather. Is able to track it down. And that's going to bring up Dennis now. And the double play still in order.
And nice play by Harris in left field. Takes a really good route to get to it. And he needed all that big glove to make the play. Reaching out for it.
Leo Eras, also another player born in Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. You know you've heard that. You're from Southern California. Throw the red of Baja to the Canadian Rockies, and then there's always that one little thing at the end. Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. That's going to do it for Ibarra after the play from the man from Tijuana at left field. So Mesa coming in to try and lock it down for Mexico.
Being a business owner takes hard work and a whole lot of miles. We chose the Capital One Venture X business card. We earn unlimited double miles on every purchase. And with big purchasing power, we can spend more and earn more. What's in your wallet?
Oh my, cheese. It's the new OM Cheeseburger from Applebee's. Our juicy bacon cheeseburger served on a skillet of cheesy deliciousness. Too much cheese? Never. Applebee's new OM Cheeseburger for $11.99. Also on our 2 for $25 menu.
Real strength isn't pushing through pain. It's treating it. When there's no pain, there's more gain. Advil Liquid Gel's target pain caused by inflammation for fast, strong relief. Advil, that's real strength.
That's rough. But hey, with SafeLight, you can get that fixed any way you want.
Anywhere I want.
It's your windshield. Get it fixed any way you want with SafeLight.
SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace.
We're back to the town that was originally known as Nuestra Señora de la Concepción de Zapopan. Zapopan, Jalisco. Caribbean Series is live and well 2026 and already catching some fire as teams are starting to even up a little bit, Rod.
And Junior Lake, the Dominican Republic team, is playing like he wants to play for another major league contract. All he has done is hit. He had 4 hits in the first game. He had another one today. He's driven in 4 runs. He threw a runner out at home plate, and they've got a closer by the name of Cordero who's throwing some serious cheddar. 98 miles an hour. So Dominican team looking real good right now.
And those standings obviously going into tonight's matchup between Federales de Chiriquí and Charros.
And Dominican has a rookie manager in Ramon Santiago who managed just a little bit this summer in Yucatan before getting the opportunity to manage the Dominican team. And he wasn't the manager in Dominican when the season started. Alex Cintron was. Alex got fired. Ramon took over. He was the bench coach, and he finds himself in the Caribbean Series as a rookie manager.
Done well, but he also had a great master Jedi in Detroit to learn from, no?
Yes, he did. He spent 10 years there as a backup infielder. I mean, he had some great hands. He came to the ballpark every day knowing he probably wasn't going to start, but he had a tremendous attitude. And a lot of times, those are the guys that get the opportunities, the guys that just keep their mouth shut, come to the ballpark. You know you're not a starter. Play your role. He did it beautifully.
And Jimmy Leland
loved him.
Loved him, right?
Jim Leland always kind of liked the he loved his superstars, don't get me wrong. But Jim always was very fond of some of the 24th and 25th man on rosters, whether it was John Werner of the Pittsburgh Pirates or whether it was Don Kelly of the Detroit Tigers, Ramon Santiago of the Detroit Tigers. He had a fondness of guys that weren't the stars on the team, and he treated everybody the same. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Jim Leland.
Yeah, absolutely. Across baseball, I think all of us. One of the best to ever do it. 11-2 ball game. Mesa in for Mexico.
And now Don Kelly's managing in Pittsburgh, following in his footsteps. And you know Jim Leland, he recommended Don Kelly for that role. And Gene Lamont.
Oh, the great Gene Lamont. Here's a chopper. Getting the lead out at second base, Gamboa. Got to go the short route runners on the corners. 2 down now for Panama. 11-2, still trying to stay alive and keep this from the knockout punch. Let's check out the replay here. Mario Mesa from Culiacán, Sinaloa. He's for Zaraperos de Saltillo.
And
now on the hill.
Ball not hit hard enough to get 2, but you just get your 1 out, especially when you've got a huge lead. And nice job, Wolanski, not trying to force the issue by throwing the ball to first base. And I wanted to finish the story on Don Kelly. Yeah. Don Kelly lives in Pittsburgh. He's now managing the Pittsburgh Pirates. Gene Lamont came out of retirement to be the bench coach for Don Kelly. And Gene Lamont is Jim Leland's best friend in the world. He was a bench coach on all the teams that Jim ever managed. So you know Jim recommended him to Don Kelly to help Donnie with some of the intricacies of being a first-year manager. So he doesn't miss anything.
Yep. And you see that across baseball, right? Where you bring a veteran manager just to kind of help you adjust, make that transition into a very under the microscope position in Major League Baseball. See this? This is how you stretch out your back a little bit, work on that sciatic
Needs a
nerve
massage.
as well.
Need a massage.
Camargo. That's how you scratch your back, man.
Whatever
do what you got to do. The 0-2 pitch from Mesa misses. 1-2 for Ramos. So I'm trying to remember if I might be wrong, but Jimmy Leland is also first manager, at least I've seen, give a left-handed catcher an opportunity. Remember Benny DiStefano?
I remember Benny.
Lefty, right?
I remember
lefty
him.
Catcher. The pitch. Siéntate. K's him. Ends it there. Mesa comes in for the bullpen. Mesa, que más aplauda. Sending Panama away. 11-2. Mexico still. Well played there at second base. Arnaiz. Fine Panamanian leather.
He's made some nice plays already here today, and especially to get the speedy Billy Hamilton to keep him off the base paths.
So let me ask you a question, Rod. As a manager, you're Benji Guild. You got to play for that run. You want to try to save some bullets in the pen, or do you kind of just let it slide, let it play out as natural as possible, or you push the button a little bit? You want your guys to drive in that run right now.
He'd like to score one more run here. There's no question about that. I mean, they played quite a bit of baseball here already this evening, and he would love for his ball club to score one more run and then hold down Panama and play 8 innings here today. But if they have to play 9, there's no problem with Benji. He's got plenty of players to do so, but those most definitely he'd like to see them finish strong.
Michael Wilansky.
They've done very little since the 4th inning. I mean, they scored a bunch of runs, and most of those came in the 3rd, but they have done nothing since the 3rd inning.
Wilansky hitting 2 ABs. And he scored a couple of runs. Siéntate! K's him there. So Saldaña came out of the pen, and he's quieted Mexico quite well.
Yeah, and when you see Wilansky take a swing like that, you know that Saldana's got some decent stuff, because you don't see Wilansky take many swings like this. This was an emergency hack. And dial 911. That ball was in the catcher's glove before he even swung the bat.
Yes. The witchcraft. Willie Calhoun now at the plate. Takes the first one, low and in. Almost took off his shoe. Nice and easy for the X.
Watch them puppies, boy.
Yep. Tonight, 1 for 2 so far after a couple of games, hovering around 400, Willie Calhoun.
He's going to have to get going if he wants to win the MVP, because that looks like what Junior Lake, that's what's on his mind.
Man, Junior Lakes, I mean, you said it.
Junior Lake is, before it's all said and done, and this is real talk, Junior Lake is going to end up in the Dominican Winter League Hall of Fame. That's how good he has performed in 8 or 9 straight Caribbean series. He's been there. He's done it all for Dominican. Had a brief career in the big leagues with the Cubs, but then he started playing in Dominican winter ball in Mexico, and he's carved out a nice career. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
All right. And quite a feat as well, because we talked about it yesterday. We talked about it obviously right now, that Dominican Republic, what they've done with baseball, for baseball, considering the population size, the size of the country, and what they produce. And I mentioned yesterday, talking about in the world of soccer, Uruguay, small country in South America, but the quality of the soccer player that they've given the world, when it comes to a smaller population as well, it's just incredible what Dominicana has accomplished, will keep accomplishing, and they look to accomplish more in the World Baseball Classic with a loaded squadron and will be revealed on Thursday here on MLB Network. That's going to do it for Mexico. Pause for the cause, and we'll be back to Zapopan, Jalisco. We're back. Serie del Caribe 2026 here in Zapopan, Jalisco. Estadio Panamericano. Happy faces tonight. Smiles all around. Why? Because Mexico's leading 11-2, have benefited from plenty of walks, good eyes, and a couple of bombs that still haven't landed. So Marquez on the mound now for Mexico, coming in to close it down. At least that's the idea and the attempt here in the bottom of the 8th to just try and lock this down for Benji Gill's side without any more complications.
And Marquez, excuse me, also saw some action in last night's contest against Dominican.
So Johan Camargo coming up to the plate. The same Johan that was using the bat to give him a self-massage, self-soothing.
Whatever it takes.
What's some of the craziest things you've done with your gear to kind of just scratch your back, maybe help with the muscle? I know that getting beamed, you'll grab that baseball and you'll rub it down with the pearl, but what have you done?
Nothing really crazy, nothing drastic, you know.
How about superstitions? Like, was there one that you had that was something you always had to do, routines, or you were all business all the time?
Well, the only routine that I really had is when I went out to stretch before the game, you know, I said a nice prayer and I asked for a couple of hits. I had that same prayer every day, buddy. You know, be healthy, pray for both teams to be healthy, you know what I mean? Yeah, just a nice little prayer for my health.
Well, look, that good energy that you put out there.
Yeah.
Good energy was returned, and a career, and now here you are, one of the top analysts in the game.
Yeah, but there's a lot of guys that do a lot of stuff from a superstition standpoint. They eat the same stuff. They drink the same shake. They drive to the ballpark the same way. It's amazing what some guys do.
Siéntate, Marquez.
Looked like he threw a screwball up there like Fernando Valenzuela back in the day. Yeah.
Huh? Very similar. And Johan Camargo, he says, wait a minute, I played 7 years in the big leagues. How did I fall for that?
That's a Fernando screwball.
The tirabuzón.
76 miles an hour.
And by the way,
under the speed limit.
Fernando's number is one of the retired numbers here in this park as well.
They ought to retire his number everywhere.
You know what? It's crazy that they took a little while at Dodgers to officially retire his number, but what I loved about the Dodgers players and the organization, nobody dared to put on 34.
Why would you? That number was royalty.
Oh, and Marquez there, letting one get away, hitting Santos, so the Panamanians have a man on board now.
It was only about 75 miles an hour. It was like a little mosquito sting right there.
All right, so we got the report. Connor Hollis was just not feeling well.
Okay.
So Benji said, all right, puppy, have a seat, get some rest, little vaporub, and we're good to go. So the man from Guatabampo, Sonora, Marquez, just like Fernando Valenzuela from Echohuaquila, Sonora. Sonoran pitcher, left-hander. Just missing there in the zone, so runner on. And looking for a double play will be Charros de Jalisco. Pentacor to left. Leo Eras is there. 2 down.
Betancourt had some nice swings today. He's gotten the 1 hit, but man, he's made some good contact.
So the man for Naranjeros, in fact, it was Naranjeros, the team that Panama beat when they last faced a Mexican side in Serie del Caribe a couple years back. They faced Naranjeros, a great side. I mean, we talked about just historic sides. If you're looking at Cangrejeros of Santurce being the Yankees of Puerto Rico, it's Naranjeros in Mexico in general. You mentioned Diablos Rojos del Mexico, Ciudad de Mexico as well, but Naranjeros, the storied side, Héctor Espino, The Mexican Babe Ruth played there. Sonora's strong with baseball.
I think the Mexico City Reds during the summer are kind of like the Yankees. Most of the best players play for the Mexico City Reds team. And then in the wintertime, Hermosillo gets most of the best players to play for their team in the winter.
Castillo lifting the left. Leo Eras is there again. The little estilito to close it out and a souvenir. So the Sonoran pitcher. Marquez handling business. Mexico now looking just to add a little something extra and close it down here in Zapopan. It's opportunity at the plate once more as we are starting the last episode, the 9th inning. Alongside Rod Allen, I'm Adrian Garcia Marquez. Thank you for joining us.
Outstanding breaking ball there by Sedano, who has thrown nothing but strikes since coming into the contest. He's really slowed down the Mexico squad. As a matter of fact, the bullpen for Panama has pitched 6 innings, and they've not given up a hit, but they have walked quite a few.
Yeah, in fact, you look at all those numbers, the 7 walks, just that one little hit given up along the way, and it's been cruise control there for them so far. But then again, it just feels like Mexico also going through the process, getting in their at-bats, getting in their swings, not getting too strategic with that 11-0 lead that they were spotted. So Gastelum fly to right, retired here in the top of the 9th inning. Madriz will come up to the plate. They had a lot of people saying, Madriz mia, when he hit that bomb, grand slam to start things off here. In fact, we're going to take a look at this drone shot, and you'll see exactly where it landed, right when that one warehouse that you see right behind the stadium.
What a gorgeous shot that is.
Yeah. A great town.
Beautiful.
Great energy. It's all about baseball. Obviously, soccer. You have, in the area, Chivas, the storied side. Chivas del Guadalajara, not too far. Akron Stadium. You have Atlas, which is very much like Atlas is kind of like, if you were to put it into baseball terms, the way the Dodgers farm system was. Atlas has also provided so many stars to the Mexican soccer ecosystem. Benji Gil, the manager. We're expecting to see him managing in big league baseball sometime soon. 2 outs on the fly to left field here. So Madriz retired. So you mentioned Saldaña's come in and just thrown strikes, forced them to swing, not giving anything away, and definitely not walking people.
It's amazing what you can accomplish if you get ahead, and he's been able to get ahead, and while he's gotten ahead, he expands the strike zone, and that's why he's been able to induce a lot of soft contact since he's come into the game. He's really been able to control the exit velocity of the bats of the Mexico team.
Filia at the plate now. And for Filia, he came in and already has 3 at-bats. He came in for Rodriguez in the middle innings and has had himself already again back to the whole point. They've been going around that lineup quite a bit. This is his 3rd at-bat. 1-1. So Saldaña has been perfect for 2 2/3. But look at that woman right there in the middle. She's got the perfect michelada and the perfect little 2-step.
Oh yeah, she was doing it.
They're happy here. They're loving their charros after conquering the Liga del Pacifico over their arch nemesis Tomateros de Culiacán. And for Benji, extra sweet because he came from Tomateros after a little bit of a falling out. And he takes over Charros and he turns them into champions.
Yeah, he won 4 championships in Culiacán.
And that's also, if Benji's going to be amongst the greats as far as managers in Mexico, Paquín Estrada, former manager there for Tomateros, also part of that conversation. Here, Filia, good eye, getting aboard. So I think we sportscaster Cur Saldaña there.
Have you ever spent much time in Culiacán?
No.
Never been there?
Just one time I did a fight there.
I don't mean this in a bad way, but Culiacán was that place where we would go play. I played for a couple of different teams in Mexico. Played in Obregon. I played for Hermosillo. Played in Navajo. I played in some other places. Guaymas, excuse me. But when you went to Culiacan, if you won the game, if you were the opposing team, you better get to that bus and get on the bus, because the fans in Culiacan, they was not having any of that. They did not like to lose. And you knew if you won, you get to that bus.
And that's one of those cities in Mexico, as we mentioned. I mean, soccer part of the culture, boxing obviously, but baseball for Culiacan, it's about their baseball players and their fighters. You know, and Julio Cesar Chavez being the main point of reference there. But yes, it's all about baseball. Yeah. And it's sacred to the people of Culiacan.
One of my great friends, Aurelio Rodriguez, he pitched for Culiacan. Awesome. I also played with him on the '84 Tigers. He was tremendous as a reliever on that team, setting up for Guillermo Hernandez. He was a setup man. Willie Hernandez got all the saves, MVP, Cy Young. But he told me, he would always tell me, he was playing third base, he said, Chichi, if you win, you better go. He always told me, he always looked out for me. Because he knew his fans, they were tough.
And those Tigers were tough, hermano.
35-5 was the start for that '84 team. Best start in baseball history. No one will ever do that again.
I don't think so.
35-5.
So difficult to replicate that. And Leo Eras.
We beat your Padres in World Series that year.
Yeah. Don't tell the audience that.
Tony Gwynn's Padres. Your guy.
Yeah, Leo Eras. That's his team as well, born in Tijuana. He gets on base. But yeah, I still remember Sparky Anderson going, they're not afraid of you, to Goose Gossage. Like, he wants to throw to you. Like you need to rile up a lion.
Yeah.
Please. Or in this case, a tiger.
Mexico finally getting something going here late in the 9th inning.
Sofilia and Eras aboard for Benji Gill's side, looking to even up at 1 win, 1 loss. Tying up the team, obviously, that they lost to yesterday. Nice comeback win, a walk-off win for Puerto Rico, only to find themselves run over by that train that is Dominican Republic earlier today. 11-2 ball game. Here's Francisco Cordova, the catcher.
And Dominican has tomorrow off, too, I believe. So when they show up again on Wednesday, they'll be fresh. Playing with house money.
There. Oh, this is just getting started. These tournaments, as we know, you know very well, the rivalries, the reason why this is all been created since the late 40s, when a couple of businessmen from Venezuela decided to talk to some Cuban counterparts and others. Say, you know what, we should put a nice party together. We invite all of the best teams in Latin American baseball, all of the champions. Like in soccer, you have the Champions League. Here you have the champions of campeones when it comes to baseball, and going strong in this iteration, this version, since 1970. Foul.
I remember when I started my career as a coach with the Marlins for about 3 years. Then I went to the Arizona Diamondbacks, and I coached there for a few years before I started broadcasting. But about 25 years ago or so, all the general managers, all the scouting directors, all your front office personnel, they would all go to wherever the Caribbean Series was, because that was the only look and the only way that you could see the Latin players. It was before all the television. It was before all the internet. So if you wanted to see a young Pedro Guerrero or a young Vladimir Guerrero or whoever you wanted to see that was a Latin player, you had to go see that player in winter ball, or else you didn't see him. But nowadays, I mean, they could watch it on television. There's all kind of different avenues for your scouts to see all of the players. So it's not a prerequisite for all the general managers and the scouting directors to go down to Mexico or Venezuela or Dominican, wherever the Caribbean Series was played. They were all there. It was an event.
And it remains that way. 1-2 to Cordova, fouling it back, plenty of territory, but it's going to find the seats here. Now, right on cue, then, I had a list prepared just in case we got to this conversation. Friends, Rod, these are all some of the players that have passed through Serie del Caribe in the history of baseball. Ricky Henderson, Roberto Clemente, Roberto Alomar, Luis Aparicio, Rod Carew, Reggie Jackson, Big Papi Ortiz, Satchel Paige, Jose Canseco, Mike Piazza, Mike Schmidt, Vladi Guerrero, Ivan Rodriguez, Frank Robinson, your buddy, A-Rod, Francisco Lindor, Pedro Martinez, Edgar Martinez, and the great Willie Mays.
There's a lot of guys, man, that are in the Hall of Fame, and there's some more that are going to get to the Hall of Fame. But it just goes to show you, man, just the rich tradition of winter ball. Miguel Cabrera, of course, he was a star in Venezuela for years.
Yeah, because that's not the full list that I gave you.
No, it's not the full list. There's so many more.
The 1-2 pitch. 2-2 now. Ducks in a row here. 2-2. 11-2 ball game. Saldaña fires into Córdoba. Fouling him off again. There you saw him take a little bit of time. That's the reason why that bat broke. Start off this AB.
That was no good no more.
Nope. You know, you can see that there's no pitch clock here, huh? 2-2 again with 2 down. The pitch, and Córdoba again, giving another souvenir to the faithful fans that have waited this out after Mexico jumped out to an 11-0 lead since the 3rd episode. Some quiet activity just for the Mexican bullpen. So Benji Gil just getting his guy ready.
And Saldano's been able to maintain his velocity. And since coming into the contest, he's been right around 90, 91. And that's where he stayed. He's thrown 43 pitches.
Fouling it off again. That ball boy's been busy, huh? Gonna win a Gold Glove after all he's been fielding over
plays down there too. Picking and grinning.
So full count remains. Runners on first and second for Mexico. Saldaña offers to Córdoba once more. This time, hot shot to third base. That's why they call it the hot corner. Well played. Quick one bounce over to first base. Camargo handles it. And now the last opportunity for Panama coming right up, bottom of the 9th. Serie del Caribe 2026 on MLB Network. Great 11-2 lead. So it's going to be a mighty comeback, a mighty mountain to climb for Panama to get back into this one. So Ryan Burroughs is coming in for Caballero as a pinch hitter, trying to light something up for Federales of Chiriquí. The pitch, and Clifton starts it off with a strike. 6'4", 220 from Maryville, Tennessee, drafted by the Cubs in 2013 in the 12th round out of Heritage High School in Maryville. The pitch, tries to paint that corner, Rod, doesn't work. 1-1.
You don't see many guys throwing 95 from this low 3/4 arm slot, but that's exactly what the 2 fastballs that Clifton has thrown, the velocity on 95 on both of those.
And Clifton offers again, this time missing on the inside. 2-1. Clifton has amongst the things that he's accomplished in his life, threw a no-hitter in high school.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, right. And then he got offers immediately from Air Force Academy, West Virginia, LSU, Arizona, and Arizona State. Here's a fly ball, foul territory. Not going to get it there. Ilya gave it a look, almost, with so much ground to cover. Had a little bit of space to work it, but he knows that, man, I could have gotten a little bit better jump. Maybe I would have had it.
He's been busy out there today. He's been running all over the place. Never give up on it, especially with all this foul territory.
1-2 pitch. Missed. So Burrows trying to work this count, get himself on board some way, somehow. Chopper up the middle. He's gonna split the diamond in half and get himself on base. So the payoff there for Jose Mayorga, getting Burrows an at-bat.
And a good at-bat by Burrows as well. When you come off that bench, especially late, and you got a guy like Clifton throwing 95 miles an hour, you want to have a good plate appearance, and that's exactly what Burrows had. It was a quality plate appearance, 2-2 count before singling sharply up the middle. A lot of these players that have come into the contest, boy, they look young, don't they?
Yeah, you got to make it count, too, with the opportunity. Sugaste. Adrian Sugaste. You know that when somebody has the same name as you say he's a tocayo.
Tocayo. Now, what does that mean?
Just that you
same name?
Share the same name. Now, the origin of the word tocayo, I'm going to have to look that one up.
After a week, well, my Spanish is going to be fluent.
Yeah, you're
hanging with you.
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Next thing you know, you'll be working with me doing some baseball in Spanish as well.
Why not?
Let's go. The 1-1 pitch with Burrows on first. And Sugaste lifts it. Filia not going to get to it. It'll find the fans in the stands there. And it's 1-2 now. Filia's like, man, Rod was right. They got me running all over the place.
Yeah.
In fact, that man was happy that ball didn't take out his torta ahogada, right? He had the torta. He's been nursing that thing, been waiting for the right moment. And then it almost got taken off of his hands by that foul ball by Sugaste, who's still up there at 1-2 the pitch. Now evens the count at 2-2. But that's one thing for sure. I'm telling you, you got to try that torta ahogada. And for all of you, our crew, you guys get a chance. Don't pass it up. Just be ready for some heat. Let's see if Clifton applies the heat here. He does, and Sugaste ready on it. And gets a base knock, and this is going to bounce right over Filia. And that's going to give Burrows the opportunity to come on home. So Panama registering another base knock. In fact, they have more hits than Mexico now with 8 after that. And Filia just, it's like, what happened?
I don't know exactly what happened here. Either he got too close to the ball and the ball bounced over his head, or the ball took a trippy hop on him. But we'll see exactly what happened. It's a good swing. There's no doubt about that. It's almost like he faked like he was going to catch it, and the ball hit the grass and then took a right turn on him, and he couldn't make the play out there. It's exactly what happened. I'll bring up something else. Clifton is the closer for the Mexico City Reds team. Normally, he would not be in an 11-2 contest. And this happens in the United States as well. Sometimes you bring your closer in just because they need some work, and Benji's getting them some work for tomorrow. He wants them to get some work for the next game. So he comes into an 11-2 game, and you just don't have that same intensity to get the outs that you need. I don't know why it is, but it happens all the time, Adrian. It happens all the time. You bring your closer in because he needs some work, and it's a 7-run lead or whatever the case may be, and they struggle to get 3 outs.
And Sugaste jumping on that fastball, registers a triple, so he's 90 feet away. And back to your point, since we see Josh Wan right now taking an at-bat, you get an opportunity. That's how you get yourself into the good graces of your manager. And if it wasn't, maybe I venture to think that if Christian Bentancur was not the starting catcher for Panama, Adrian Sugaste definitely would be that guy behind the dish.
Yeah. But Betancourt's good for him to learn from. He's a good guy for him to learn from, a guy that's been in the big leagues and for as long as he's been, about 8 years, at different stops. Betancourt knows how to catch, and he knows how to lead men too. So he'd be good for the youngster to follow after him.
So Josh Wan. Pokes one right over into an RBI. Just got it past the mound on Clifton. Couldn't field it right. And that's the 4th run registered for Panama. A little bit late, but again, that's 9 base hits.
What this is going to do for Panama, it's going to give them some energy for tomorrow. It's going to give them some confidence for tomorrow when they go up against the Mexico City Verde team, Lorenzo Bunde's team. The fact that they came back and they showed up in the game, looked like they were going to get 10-run rule. They came back, scored 2 to prevent that from happening. Now they've scored 2 more. So going into tomorrow, some of these guys are having some better at-bats. They'll feel better about themselves, and they'll have a better game tomorrow.
And it'll be you and I on the call at 3 p.m. Eastern mañana.
Yes, sir.
Bottom of the 9th. 11-4 now. Dennis at the plate. Clifton on the mound. And Benji doing calculus. Just taking everything into account. He promised Friday and Saturday that Mexico would be right there in the thick of things. Ready to win it all. And when a manager makes a promise, you know, I mean, let me ask you that as a former player, when a manager kind of puts you guys on the line like that, says, I guarantee that on Friday we got this. I promise you we will be there. Does it help you? Does it pressure you a little bit? What does it really truly do?
No, I don't think there's any pressure put on his team. I think Benji knows his team, and his players probably know the way that he manages. He knows the way that he talks to them, and he has a tremendous amount of confidence in him. He knew he's going to be playing Panama, and he knew his team was probably more talented than the Panama squad. So he didn't put any pressure on them. He just knew his team would come out and play the way they did, and they came out and they backed him up.
Dennis lifts it. Gamboa plays it. And that's going to give us the first out here in the bottom of the 9th. Gamboa almost got fooled by that little floater there by Dennis. No, almost found its way into center field. So Austin Dennis, soft liner to short. And that'll bring up Jose Ramos, the center fielder, who has 1 hit in 4 at-bats tonight. Ramos, hot shot. Looks like 2. And they find the pitcher's best friend to close it out. The double play in Mexico. Not only barked, but they bit. They bit early, and that was enough for this win. They register 11-4 final for Benji Gill's side.
Clifton finally got it together after giving up a couple of runs before getting an out. He finally came up, jammed 1 batter, then got the ground ball, and for the twin killing to preserve the victory.
So 12 walks given up by Panama, the most we've seen in Serie del Caribe since 2006.
Is that a lot?
That's a lot. Una docena, that's another word in Espanol for you. A dozen.
And nice play right here. Nice feed to the second baseman. Nice turn to complete the double play.
Another angle. Gamboa came in for Connor Hollis, who wasn't feeling right. And Gamboa was feeling right at shortstop. And Charros right at home tonight here at Estadio Panamericano in Zapopan, Jalisco. The Caribbean Series continues tomorrow as Panama takes on Mexico Verde. Lorenzo Bundy's side, Tomateros de Culiacán. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific, live on MLB Network. For all of our wonderful crew, especially Courtney Davis, who's been grinding it out for both games, and my partner, Rod Allen, I'm Adrian Garcia Marquez. Goodbye for now, and thanks for watching the 2026 Caribbean Series presented by DirecTV.